So women's quad, right? So is there any one of you guys or anyone out there that isn't going to pick China to win this event?
They were another blowaway at World Cup too, weren't they? Another one where they struggled to fit the Chinese in the same shot as the rest of the chasing pack.
For over 4 seconds, that's open water on the field. That's an international racing. That's walk away. So they look strong, good form. I think China's the favorite. I'll back you on that.
Yeah, a very consistent crew as well. It's their top medal shout since Steve Redgrave went over there as performance director, and they scull beautifully. And so I think all three of us are going to be picking China. So what about the race for silver and bronze medals?
Well, I know that it's. I mean, looking at who you've got in the rest of the field, the Germans have been sort of in and amongst the podium. They just got the gold at Sabaudia against sort of fairly limited competition. The Polish, I think, I would trust them to perform at an Olympics when you've got someone like Katarzyna Zillman in the stroke seat who can just motor it down. Like, I think you'd be pretty hard pressed to look past them for being on the podium. The Italians now, again, everything's up in the air, right? There's changes in the women's quad as well, where they've taken someone out and they've put someone else in, and it's actually going faster. And they've taken some of the sweep athletes and sculling athletes and mixed them all around, and they found this really fast quad that did really well at Lucerne, and they're sticking with it. And poor old Clara Guerra has found herself now in the double, having been taken out the quad, and she might lose a seat going to Tokyo because they got beaten by the other Italian double at Sabaudia. So it's interesting.
The Germans have been consistently in the mix, and we haven't really talked about them. I think they're certainly a contender. So I might put them in the medal count.
They look really sort of solid with Carlotta Nadragi in the 3 seat. They've moved her up from 2, so I think she adds a lot, linking the rhythm between stroke and 2.
I think her and Hammerling in the stern pair are a really good combination to have, and they really enjoy racing. Every interview I hear with them after when they won at World Cup 1 against very, very limited competition in Zagreb, they were like, yeah, we just really enjoyed it, and a win's a win. And they just seem to keep, improving and enjoying what they're doing, which I think is a really important part to everything, right? Is going in with enjoyment and no expectation and doing the best race you can do. And I think that's what the Germans have in this
combination. Good psychology.
So we ought to say something about Britain because they were up in the medals in the Europeans. Didn't race at World Cup 2 in Lucerne. I don't know what sort of handicap that's going to be for them, but I think they surprised me with the pace that they had in the Europeans. Whether it's enough to get them on the podium in Tokyo, I'm not sure, but I think there'll be a final boat.
Yeah, I think when we were talking before this kind of round table, Martin, about movers and shakers, and I kind of noted down a couple of movers and shakers, and the British women's quad was one of mine. In that new lineup, you've got Glover and Hannah Scott coming into that crew to join the Hodgkins-Burns sisters, and that performance at the Europeans put them, silver they got or bronze.
Yeah,
can't remember.
I think silver.
Silver, yeah. They rode through in the last 200 meters, and someone like Lucy Glover in the stroke seat, that really talented under 23, who, again, we talk about someone like an Imogen Grant, right? In the lightweight side, you put her in that crew, and she's such a racer, and to have her in the stroke seat, I really back them. I think they can do some exciting things, and maybe not for this Olympics and the podium, but for Tokyo, for Paris even in 2024. I think this is a great boat to keep an eye on.
Yeah, I think you're right. Actually, they've got a lot of potential. The British women's quad. Have we talked enough about the Dutch? consistent performers?
The Dutch have been having problems, and they were moving the combination round in Spoudia. They've moved Nicole Burkers into the bow seat.
Yeah,
and they weren't happy with their performance in Lucerne at all, and I don't think they will be happy with their performance in Sabaudia either. So I think there's some alarm bells going off in the Dutch women's quad at the moment, and again, they might bounce back and find the rhythm in this new combination. But yeah, it was disappointing, I think, for them over the last couple of races.
Anyone else we haven't talked about that might make the A final?
Did we talk about Australia in the Olympic qualifiers? They're the ones who won that. I don't know much about that crew, but obviously impressive. Winning by a second and a half.
Yeah, that's a good shout, Adam, and great A final contenders. It's an interesting pick, that is, in terms of where you go. New Zealand with Olivia Lowe in stroke seat. I mean, what a fighter. It's obviously not it's their third sculling boat, presumably after Emma Twigg and now the women's double. Be interesting to see what they do with Olivia Lowe in the stroke seat of that women's quad. Maybe an A final contender. I'm not sure they'll be on the podium. Let's go for our 1, 2, 3 picks.
I'm going to say China, Germany, Netherlands.
Ooh. How about you, Camilla?
Yeah.
I'm going to go China, Poland.
Yeah.
And then I might be really wild and go for the Brits. And that's
a bronze medal for the Brits. That's a great prediction.
It was so hard. The Germans have been on the way up, but like their race at the Europeans was so good that they've only got upwards to go. So we'll see.
I think I will go China to win. I think the Netherlands will pull it round for a silver medal, and I think it'll be very close between Germany and Britain for the bronze. But I think I'll put Germany in there for the bronze.